can never quite say as much as I know. I look at other parrots and I wonder if it's the same for them. If somebody is trapped in each of them, paying some kind of price for living their lives in a certain way. I'm sitting on a perch in a pet store in Houston, and what I'm really thinking is, holy shit, it's you. I'm looking at my wife. But in the pet store, this guy circled around my wife. A guy that looked like a meat packer. Big in the chest and thick with hair. The kind of guy I always sensed your eyes moving to when I was alive. Hi! Hello, she says, and she comes over to me. And I can't believe how beautiful she is. Her nose. I don't remember her for her nose. But its beauty is clear to me now. She scratches the back of my neck. Her touch makes my tail flare and she whispers, "Pretty bird." For a moment I think she knows it's me. But she doesn't. And that's how I ended up in my own house once again. Scientist Matthew Lieberman explains in his book Social that from the smallest rodents all the way to us humans, the data suggests that we are profoundly shaped by our social environment, and we suffer greatly when our social bonds are threatened or severed. While we may resist the urge to bond when we are hurt, our biology dictates that our well-being depends on our connection. Loneliness generates social pain, which is just as real as physical pain, influencing our self-worth and impacting our identity. Jealous Husband Returns in Form of a Parrot by Robert Owen Butler. I got my giant cage full of bird toys. That dangling thing over there with knots, strips of rawhide, and a bell at the bottom needs a good thrashing a couple times a day. And I'm the bird to do it. I flap my wings, squawk, fluff up, throw seed, and attack the thing as if it were the guy's balls. But it does no good. Thinking about that now, I flap my wings. I feel myself lift up, and it all seems so different. Though, I know I'm different. I'm a bird. I sidestep down to the opposite end of the cage, and I look out the big sliding glass doors to the backyard. It's a pretty yard. There are great placid maple trees with good places to roost. A blue sky that plucks at the feathers at my chest. If I could just fly away. I tried once. She forgot and left the door to my cage open. And I climbed beacon foot, along the bar. And stretched sideways out the door. The vast scene of peace was there at the other end of the room. I flew. The room whirled around, hit my head, and I fell straight down. The only good thing about hurting my head was she held me. She put her hands under my wings, lifted me up, and clutched me to her breast. I wish there hadn't been bees in my head at the time, so I could have enjoyed that. But she placed me back in my cage and wept a while. That touched me. I looked back to the wall of sky and trees. There was something invisible between me and that place where I could be free of all these feelings. She's single now, of course. Her husband, the man that I was, is dead to her. She does not understand all that is behind my hello. I know a lot of words for a parrot. I talk pretty well. But none of my words are adequate. I can't make her understand. And what would I say if I could? I was jealous in life. I admit that. I'd admit that to her. But it was because of my connection to her. I would explain that. But half an hour ago, there was a moment that thrilled me. A word. A word we all knew in the pet shop was just the right word after all. And this guy in his cowboy belt buckle, rattlesnake boots, pasty skin, and twanging words of love trailed after my wife. Through the den. Past my cage, and I said, "Cracker?" He even turned his head back a little in surprise. He'd been called that to his face before, I realized. Cracker? But to him, I was just a bird. And he let it pass. They were out of sight through the hall doorway, and I hustled along the perch and caught a glimpse of them just before they made the turn to the bed. And I said, "Cracker?" And he shot me one last glance. It made me hopeful. I'm a faithful man for all my suspicions. Too faithful, maybe. I am ready to give too much. Maybe that's the problem. I was feeling odd. At least I made my point to the guy in the other room. She called me pretty bird. I believed her. But then something new happened. She appeared in the den naked. She is still slim and beautiful. At least I clearly remember as her husband I found her beautiful in this state. Now though, she seems too naked. I want to pluck some of my own feathers. The feathers from my chest. And give them to her. I love her more in that moment, seeing her terrible nakedness, than I ever have before. And since I've had success with words in the last few moments, when she comes back, I am moved to say hello. Meaning you are still connected to me. I still only want you. Hello. Please listen to this tiny heart that beats at all times for you. And she does indeed come to me. She bends to me. Hi! Hello, she says, and she smiles at this. She opens the door to my cage and reaches in. Offering her hand, and I climb on and tremble. Poor baby, she says. I can never say what it is in my heart to her. Never. I stand on my cage door now and my wings stir. I look up at the sky. The color of a blue front Amazon. Shadow of bird spanks across the lawn. I spread my wings. I will fly now. Even though I know there is something between me and that place where I can be free of all these feelings. I will fly. I will throw myself there again and again. Pretty bird. Poor bird. Good night.